Hi, and welcome back to Love Your Midlife. I'm Darcy Justin, and today we're going to be talking about finding your life's purpose in midlife. I'm so glad that you're with us today. I hope you will subscribe to the channel. We have new videos every week, and we are going over key and important topics, information, advice, tips, suggestions, you name it, all about midlife because I am in midlife and I love it. And I want to share all these goodies with you, and I hope that you'll enjoy it too. I really had to look again at my life's purpose going into midlife, and I think a lot of us do. So many things have changed, and it's really important that we don't let our self concept or our self worth or our identity really drive us into our life's purpose. And it's not unusual at all to be going through midlife and going, I don't know if I've really lived my life's purpose. So many of us go through college, have a career. We're very much on a fast track, right? We're very much on a certain a plan that we have for our lives. And it may or may not involve our life's purpose. And sometimes we get married, maybe we get married young, we have children, and we sometimes don't necessarily try to find what our life's purpose is. Because again, we're sort of going back to the plan and what we thought was important at the time. And this is a great time to take a pause. This is a great time in our life to take a pause and go, I have spent a lot of my time doing a lot of different things, and I really would love to spend the next few years, whatever it is, maybe you're retiring, leaving a position, maybe you're moving. Lots of changes happen at this time in our life. And I think it's a great time to go, I really want to look at maybe my life's purpose. And maybe you have been so fortunate and you've always been in your life's purpose. And I so admire you if that happened to you. That did not happen to me. And so I was able to hit the restart button at a later time in life and really think about what I wanted to do and what I thought was going to be important. So I think it's really good to remember your life's purpose is really that calling deep down inside of you. It's not your family. It's not your husband necessarily. It doesn't have to be your kids or your especially your career. So many of us start careers and are in careers or start businesses because we really do have to pay the bills at the end of the day. We really do have to take care of ourselves. But our life's purpose is so much more than that, right? It's that little tug on our heart and really what we feel more of a calling for. And we feel more that could be more important than anything else. Finding your purpose in midlife is it's just a fantastic time to really look and see, what do I love? What is important to me? What matters to me? How can I give back? It's a great time in life when we've raised our children and we can give back at this time too. We don't have to worry about maybe fixing dinner for 5 or 6 people every night or however many children you had in your family. That is a huge change and our time and our dynamic. So, finding your life's purpose really is asking the why, the big why. And I think that is such a big question. And it's so important at this time to really stay open minded. Just stay really open minded about what your interests are and how you want to go forward. Because if you bring along a lot of the stuff that you've had the rest of your life, you will be somewhat tainted about moving forward into what could really be your life's purpose. So I think it's so important to remember and really look at, where does your joy come from? What brings you happiness and joy? It could be helping other people, it could be being outside, It's something really good to look at and think about and not overlook it. You know, you don't want to be doing something inside all the time and really your true joy and where you really have the most happiness is being outside. So that's something that you want to consider. Um, what is that thing that makes you tingle, makes your fingers tingle or your feet tingle? It's just whatever it is that really lights you up when you think about it or when you talk about it. And so that's one thing that you really want to think about when you're looking at what you want your life's purpose to be. It's going to be something that ignites you and lights you up. It's not going to be drudgery. It's not going to be something that brings you unhappiness or, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this. That's not going to, if you're in that place, that is, you are not moving towards your life's purpose, right? You couldn't be because it's all going to be wholesome and good and it's going to bring you joy. So that's what you're looking for, the things that bring you joy. Does your age mean something to you? And this is something you really have to think about. I believe age is neutral. And I didn't always feel that way. When I was having my slump and I was having a very difficult time going into my 60s, I felt old. But I felt old because I it was in my head that I was getting old. And so I had to kick that can to the side of the road and get rid of that type of thinking. So hopefully this will not influence you in moving forward and moving into your life's purpose because it doesn't matter whether you are 40 or you are 90, you can still move into your life's purpose if you want to. There's nothing holding you back than your own limited beliefs and your own mindset. Well, I'm too old to go back to school. You know, we always love it when we pick up the paper and read about some woman in her 80s that went back to college. Why not? Why the hell not? I think that is amazing. But that's someone who's not really worried about their age and what that means. And we do that. We put tags on everything and we put labels on everything. And we don't want to do that when we're trying to move into our life's purpose. The other thing I want you to remember is what makes you you. You are special and you are neat, unique, and God and the universe created you. And if you ignore your talents, what you're good at, what your strengths are, even it's even a good thing to look at what your weaknesses are. I certainly do. That makes up you, and that's an important part of moving into your life's purpose. You want to tap into your talents. This is the things that you are going to be able to use in moving forward. You know, another way you can kind of take a look at what some of your strengths are is what are the comments that you get from other people? Very often people will say, "Oh my gosh, you're so amazing at baking and you love to bake." I personally don't like to bake, but I know a lot of women that love to bake. And before you know it, they're baking cakes or they have a little business on the side. I know someone who actually bakes cakes and gives them away to people as a gift to the world and to the universe. And also, it's a gift to her. She also receives great joy in this. So that is her life's purpose. And she found that early in life. And I think that's really fascinating. So, what kinds of things, if you don't know, what kinds of things do people say about you? You're so good at this. You're so amazing at that. It's not something you have to do for money. Your life's purpose can be just something you do out of love. You can do it with money involved in it or not money involved in it. That's what's really great about it. The other thing that's really interesting that you can do as an exercise is what is a perfect day to you? And this is something I do in my coaching business with my coaching clients. What is a perfect day? How do you want to wake up? Who do you want to be there? What does it look like? Are you at the beach? If you take a piece of paper and a pen and you go somewhere quiet and you start thinking about your perfect day, that may very well be the center of finding your life's purpose. There are so many times we push things away, we push things down because we just don't think it's going to happen. But finding your life's purpose and moving into that is not having any limited beliefs. I only think about living at the beach. Maybe that's one of the things that you think about all the time. And maybe that's one of the places that you want to go. Maybe that's a place that you want to live. And maybe that's where you might fulfill your life's purpose. So that's something that can be part of your perfect day. Some people say you can write a letter to yourself about your perfect life and what you want that to look like. I think that's kind of a big step, but if you're ready for that, you can do that too. But sitting down and writing down what your perfect day is not that difficult. Are you working or not working? Are you drinking? Are you eating? What are you eating? These are all things that are very telling as to what's important to you and where you want to be in moving into this. The other thing that's so incredible to do is put your hand over your heart and take a few deep breaths in. Your heart has an intelligence of its own, and it has an energy field around it that is probably 10 times what your body is able to embrace. Your heart intelligence is where your intuition is. And when you tap into your heart intelligence, it will speak to you. Very often it happens every day and we aren't looking for it. We don't want it. We want to push it down. We say, "Oh, well that's never going to happen. So why even think about it?" This is an exercise that you can do to really focus on your heart and your heart intelligence. And I am absolutely shocked if anybody ever does this and they don't have their heart or their intuition speak to them, because it happens every time. It may take a minute, it might take a little bit longer, but if you are there and you are focused, which is what the deep breathing helps, it helps us get focused. Your heart and your intuition will speak to you. It's the way we're made, it's the way we're supposed to be operating, is with our intuition, which is our inner voice that talks to us and lets us know when things are good and when things really aren't. That's really something key that you can do. The other thing you can do is look back at when you were growing up. What did you love to do? What brought you so much joy? For me, it was being outside and being out in nature. And I used to bring home rocks and frogs and flowers. And to this day, my happy place is out in my yard and working in a flower bed. Not much has changed. My happy place is the same place it was when I was 3 and 4 and 5 years old. So a lot of times you can go back in time and say, I loved it when I was in high school and I was writing, and maybe you might want to start a blog. Or I loved it when I was doing this. This is what brings peace and joy to me. We should be doing things that attract peace and joy into our lives, because that's really how we're meant to live. Not in chaos, not in confusion, not in moving forward where we're not clear, we don't know what's going on. That's really not how we're supposed to live, and that's really not how we want to move forward. So as you write these things down and as you think about things, take a moment and connect some of the dots. Some of these things that we talked about, there will be a common thread throughout some of these things. And if you take the time to write these things down, if it really means something to you and you really want to lean in to your life's purpose or what's next, a lot of people in midlife say, what's next? There is a common thread through all of these thoughts that we've talked about, whether it's your childhood or your heart intuition, or maybe something that brings you joy, your unique talent and gifts. There is something there that you can start looking at that will connect these things together and start putting together a new story for you that you can move into, which is what's next and finding your life's purpose. So, as we're looking at all of these things, we are really looking at the why. Why this? Why that? Right? And it's like talking to your grandchild. I love my grandson. He says, Mimi, why is there the sun? Why are there the stars? Remember that age? I love that age. They want to know why. And we can still ask why. Why am I good at this? Why am I talented at that? Why do I love doing this? It's because those are the things that were em- embedded in us when we were made and the things that we were probably supposed to be doing all along. But our plan got in the way, right? We all had a plan of having a career or having a family or getting married or being this amazing writer or speaker or whatever it is that you wanted to accomplish. This is such a wonderful time to look and say, why? Not regrets. I'm not talking about regrets. I don't believe in regrets. I don't believe in looking back and having regrets. This is a positive why. Why can't I do that? Why can't I do this? It's really, really powerful. Finding your purpose and your passion in life is truly the magic ingredient in finding peace and joy. And when we can find that secret ingredient, our lives will feel a lot more magical. They'll feel a lot more special. And my wish for you is that you find your life's purpose through some of these exercises, through journaling, through thinking, maybe some meditation, whatever it is that you need to do to find your life's purpose, and that you will find joy and fulfillment at any age. It doesn't matter how old we are, because it can happen anytime in our life. And that's my wish for you today. Bye, loves.